Hey guys, Jared Codling here again with a new hack every week, and today I'm going to talk to you about the golden loop. This is a strategy that I've got for split testing. This is how I do my funnels. So I'm going to walk you through, it's more of a methodology than a hack, but you're going to see that this gets amazing results, and this is how I do it with every business that I start. And this is how I get my click cost down, my lead cost, even my purchase costs, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So, I do actually plan on making another video, which is more about the actual funnels that I use. This one's more about the split testing methodology, and when you combine those, that's where the magic really happens. But I wanted to start off with this one because it is quite complex. You might have to watch it twice, but I'll lay out everything that I do, and I'll try to explain it the best that I can. So what is this? This is how I systematically dropped our lead cost from $1.50 to 9 cents per lead, and I got hundreds of thousands of leads. It works in any market. This is, as I say, this is a methodology. This is more than just a hack. This is a full system. And why do we even split test? So, here's a hint, because your guesses fucking suck. So do mine. Anytime I've tried to just go, okay, I'm an awesome marketer, I can guess which ad copy is going to work or which image, I've got no fucking idea. And I really doubt that you do as well. You got nothing to lose by split testing, because we either win or we learn. And I'm just going to demonstrate this for you. So this was a article that we did quite some time ago, and I basically made 4 different ad images, and this is them. I put them head to head, and what I want you to do is right now just mentally make a guess of which one of the 4 performed the best. Have a guess of which one did worst. And I'll reveal in a second. So pick one of those. Which one do you think did best with the cheapest cost per click, the highest click-through rate? It just outperformed the others. This is for a blog article. We're doing this with Facebook ads. All right. I'm guessing you've made your guess. Here's the results. So as you can see, this one up in the top left-hand corner, this stupid one with a whiteboard, a blackboard, and a cupcake, it won. And it won by quite a bit. So it was basically half the cost of all the others. And so that's a pretty amazing result, because it doesn't seem like much, like there's like a 7-cent difference between that one and the second best. But what about the maths? So imagine you want 10,000 clicks. And, if you're running a large business, you do want 10,000 clicks. It's either $800 or $1,900 if you were to get those 10,000 clicks. That's $1,100 profit difference. Because you've got to think, your ad costs, they're like, you're literally paying that out. So this isn't to do with your running costs or anything like that. This is different. So this is actual profit. That's what's so important about split testing. This ad cost, anything that you save, you're literally putting in your pocket, minus taxes, of course. But this is just so important. So if you're running large campaigns, even the smallest differences can make a huge difference. So the golden loop. So what happened, I came up with this split testing system, which I used, and I use this quite a bit. And it all starts at the top here, where I want to make an assumption. And I'm going to break into each of these, but basically I'm making a guess, and it might be that, videos perform better than images. And I win either way, because whichever one wins, that's what I use from now on. So I just killed a loser, but I learned something, and I know I can use it over and over again. And so I make that assumption, and then I set up a fair test. And what I mean by that is, if I'm doing image versus video, for example, all of the ad text will be the same. I'll try to make them as similar looking as possible. I'll run it to the same audience. I'll do everything the same except for the one variable that I'm trying to work out. So I set up that fair test. I test it scientifically, and I'm going to get into how to do that. And then I verify the test. And this is where so many people fuck up, because they run one test and they take that as gospel. They go, okay, that's how it is. Quite often it's not. You might have just got lucky. It could have been a fluke. You want to verify the test and make sure that this is a fact that you can take to the bank. So example assumptions. So as I said, video versus images. You could be optimizing for leads versus optimizing for purchases. That's something that I do quite often with Facebook ads. Different images, different ad copy. There's so many things that we can test. And as I say, you win either way, because you learn for the next time. There's no losing here, except for a tie. But I feel like you still learn with a tie, because then don't test that again. That just doesn't matter, and you will run into those every now and then. Setting up a fair test. So when you're starting out, you normally want this to be a head-to-head, make it an A/B test only. You can, if you're more advanced, do multivariate testing, but you're going to need a bigger ad budget for that. So you want to make sure it's still a fair test. So I might test 4 images against each other. And if you're doing stuff like images, you might want to do multivariate testing. And the tool that I use is AdEspresso to do large tests. It's quite good because it splits them out really nicely. It does all the different combinations for you, but you can do all of that manually. So every test, you're only trying to learn one thing. And this is where people get caught up. And I shortcut this a little bit now, but I've been doing this a while. When I try to learn too much in one go, that's where you either need a really big ad budget because you've got so many different variations, and that's where you make mistakes too. So you can get inconclusive findings. So if I'm only trying to learn one thing, like am I running video versus image, it's really cheap for me to get a conclusive result. It's much faster, and then you can just do a new test every day. You can go quite quick. So scientific testing. So Google statistical significance, if you want to learn more about the scientific way to test, but I'll link to a calculator for this in the members area of the website. But basically what we're doing is we're using like a statistical analysis to know with 90% certainty that it's actually a winner. So this is how we scientifically know that we've spent enough and it's conclusive enough that it's a real winner, because we want to know with certainty. We don't want to call the test too early. If you've only got 5 clicks and 4 of them were on one ad and 1 was on the other, well, it only takes 4 clicks for the other one to catch up. Like, it's not conclusive. So you actually need to run a reasonable amount of traffic. And the way we do that is using a statistical significance calculator. It takes all of the guesswork out, leave it to the scientists, the statistical analysis guys. It's cheap. Well, it doesn't cost anything to do this, and it's just the right way to do it. And so I normally shoot for 90% certainty because it gets exponentially more expensive to get your certainty up. If you want 99%, it can cost you a fortune on a tight test. So this is what I normally go with. Don't use gut feel, not until you're very, very advanced and you've done a lot of tests. Run it through the calculator. You want to verify your test. So does this work in all scenarios, or was it a once-off? You want to know that we can reuse this finding, because what we're trying to build is a stack of wins. So what we're trying to do is build this toolkit of things that we know. Can we stack our win here? And so when you start stacking your wins, and I'm going to show you an example, this is where we actually get these amazing results, because you can work out that video works better than image, and then you combine that with something else and then something else, and you might get a 5% gain here and 10% here and so forth. When you put them all together, that's where the magic happens. Getting a 12% change is not going to change your life, but getting like 10 of those at once, stacking them together, that's what can actually break through for a business and completely transform the business, and it has for mine. So once again, going back over it before I show you an example, we make an assumption. We're basically making a guess, like what are we going to do for the test? We set up a fair test, so we're only trying to learn one thing at a time, and we want to make sure that everything else is exactly the same except for this one variable that we're going to be changing. And then we test it scientifically. So we use a statistical significance calculator, and we want to know with 90% accuracy that it's correct. Then we verify the test. We repeat it with totally different conditions. So an example here is, you may do video versus image, and we want to test it again, and we want to know, does this work every time? So you'll test it with something totally different, and we'll see if it gets the same result. Because we've got different levels of discoveries. So sometimes you're going to learn something, and you're going to learn it, and it's just a fact about Facebook ads. So there's some things that are just facts about Facebook ads. And an example of that is square videos pretty much always outperform rectangle videos. But then sometimes you've got stuff that only works in your industry. And then sometimes you've got stuff that you're only learning for that campaign. Because if you're putting an image head-to-head with another image, well, that's not something that you can go and deploy for every single business that's on Facebook. It's just this campaign-specific. And we're going to have a combination. So campaign-specific, it only works for this campaign. And a great example is an image variant or an ad text. And it's great for reusable long-term campaigns. So if you're running like a lead magnet or a quiz funnel or anything like that, you're going to have some of these that you're just going to you're going to run the same ad. I've got an ad that I've been running for 18 months because it just works. It's amazing. I can deploy it with different audiences, which is great, but it's really campaign specific, which means it's only running to this one particular lead magnet that I'm using. So we need some of these campaign specific wins. But then what we also want, which is very interesting, is business-specific wins. So it only works for this business. So examples are a type of quiz. So I do, like with the weight loss company, we've got a calorie quiz, we've got a mindset quiz, got a number of different quizzes. Well, that's always going to work for that business. So we can run different campaign specific stuff for the same quiz, and we know that that quiz always works for this business. The offer or your pricing, this is really important, and a lot of people don't split test pricing. We want to know for this business what pricing works. So we know that no matter what kind of images we're running and all that kind of stuff, this business specific win, pricing, we can take that to the bank. So you can use this on most campaigns within the business if you work out a business specific win. That's a really big win because every campaign that you put together, you're going to take some of these business specific wins, you're going to inject them, and your campaign will perform right from the start. And then we get to the holy grail, and these are the global learnings. These are the real big wins. And so these work in any business, any industry. It's just a fact. This shit is just a fact. And so an amazing example here is when I started doing work in the mortgage industry, I took my exact system that I was using in the weight loss industry, which is so different. I put all of my global wins in, and I got amazing results from the start. So I was profitable from day one because I had so many global wins I'd worked out, which I do share with you guys, like Square Videos and Canvas and all those kind of stuff. But you could use it for almost any business or industry on Facebook. So this, my weight loss tricks work for the mortgage industry, which is just insane to me. But these global wins, they stick. So guys, what I want to explain here is basically an example. So here's a business level win, which is that link clicks for us perform better than paying for impressions. So you can choose your bid type, which is we're either going to optimize for link clicks or impressions. Now this one used to be true, it's not anymore, but I'm giving an example of when I put this together. But our cost per lead was $1.50. So we got a 12% win by making that one change, and that took us to $1.32 per lead, which, that's not going to change the business. It's still an awesome win, but you get it, it's not going to change the business. Then we worked out a global win, which this works on pretty much any business. A 30-second video outperforms an image. And that's just something that I've found to be true. Facebook really favors video. So if you do it right, it does perform better. So that was a 9% win. Now we're at $1.20. Then we discovered that a square video really dramatically, by 21%, outperforms a rectangle video. Now, the amount might vary, but for this campaign, that was a global win. But for this campaign, it's taken us down to 94 cents. Then for our target market, this is a business level win. The cost per lead went from 94 cents to 77 cents when we just did mobile. So mobile performs better than desktop for us. It's just significantly cheaper by 18%. And so that's a business level win. Now when we run campaigns, we pretty much just run them to mobile because it just always works for us. Then what we worked out, and this was a bit of an accident, I've got my Square Video Canvas hack video that you can go and check out if you want to learn more about this. But 4-second video outperformed a 30-second video. And this is a global win. I do this in the weight loss industry, in the mortgage industry, and a bunch of other industries. And so 14% win on this case, but I've got bigger ones than that. But anyway, that took us from 77 cents to 66 cents. So you can already see we've taken it from $1.50 a lead to 66 cents. Now we're getting into the territory that this is an amazing win. But I kept going. I got this tiny little win by putting like a Facebook like box on the landing page. So that showed social proof because we've got like 150,000 likes. So that was a little win, 6% gain, but now we're at 62 cents. And so this, as you can see, I've got a lot of global and business wins. Now I've got to start, if I really want to start optimizing, I'm really looking for campaign specific wins. So then we totally designed the landing page better. Like we made it more congruent with the ad. We made it just everything better. And that was a huge win. And it often is. If you redesign your landing page, a 36% win is not unheard of at all. And so our new CPL was 39 cents. And we use Optimizely to do this, to just really split test the hell out of it. New design and so forth. Don't just guess and think it's a better design, like test it scientifically. Then we did a new video design that was more congruent with the new landing page. And, that resonated a lot better with our audience. Once again, a campaign-specific win, this new video design. It's only going to matter for this campaign that we did that. But once again, another win. Now we're down to 31 cents. Then, by this point, we're starting to get a lot of leads. So we made a new lookalike audience. And that was a huge win, using lookalike audiences as opposed to interest-based targeting. Using this new lookalike audience where we fed it a bit more data, that got us down to 18 cents a lead. And here was the biggest win, and I've got another video on this, and this was a global win that just came out of nowhere for us. And this was using a Canvas ad, and so I've got another hack up about that, which you can find, you'll have access to, but that took our cost per lead from 18 cents down to 9 cents. So as you can see, huge amount of testing has gone on to get here, but we've gone from $1.50 to 9 cents per lead. Right now, I think it's like 11 cents or something like that. It hovers around there, but it's just amazing what results I still get using this exact system, even though we've saturated the hell out of our market. So let's talk about results. So what does this really look like? Because that seems great, $1.50 down to 9 cents. Most people will respect that. But if you were to spend $10,000 on leads before, we get, 6,500 leads. After, we get 110,000 leads for the exact same spend. Think about that. What would you do with 100,000 leads? This was fucking crazy. Like, we weren't nurturing them properly. We could have made way more. Honestly, I'm first to admit my mistakes, but we still made a lot of money, and we still make a lot of money off all these leads that we captured. And we still capture more and more to this day, and I can just turn this up anytime we want. But let's talk about, let's imagine that every lead that we buy gets $2 back. So at the start, we're spending $1.50, we're getting $2 back. Well, let's just call it profit. We have operating costs and all that kind of stuff because we actually employ dietitians and all this stuff. But in saying that, let's just assume that for every lead that we get $2 back eventually. It might be over some of them might convert in the first week, some in the first 12 months, but eventually we're going to get $2 back from every lead. So let's say we spent $10,000 on leads, just like before. So as we see, it's 6,700 leads or it's 110,000 leads. In the first case, it's 6,700 leads. That's $13,000 rev. And if we just didn't have operating expenses, if it was just the ad cost, then we've made $3,000 profit. So we put 10 grand in, we got 13 grand back. We've got about 3 grand profit. Look, it's not bad if you're running an online business. That's tight margins. But let's see what happens after. Instead, we get $220,000 revenue and $212,000 profit, as you can see here. And honestly, we've got a 7-figure company. This is actually how it plays out. This is actually how it works. So yes, it takes a fucking lot of work doing all of this split testing. Fortunately, I'm going to help you, give you a lot of my hacks, and as I have already in previous videos, to minimize that work. But at the end of the day, you got to do your own testing. I don't know your business. A lot of these are business and campaign specific wins. I can only give you the global ones. That's all I can give you because you got to go work it out yourself. But now you know how to work it out. And I'm going to do more videos about how you actually do like a quiz funnel, because that works in a lot of different markets. And I'm going to give you more videos about how do I actually do the testing process in Adespresso and how do I do all of that. But I wanted you to get your head around the theory of it all and also see practically the results that this can achieve. And so as you can see there, this is quite old. This is last April, 2017, April. 150,000 leads were sitting in there. We've obviously got a lot more since then. And just to reiterate, the golden loop. We make an assumption. We set up a fair test. We test it scientifically, and then we verify that test. And then the beauty of it is we stack our wins. When you stack your wins, that's when you're really setting this up to make a lot of money. So to summarize, we're looking for discoveries. We're trying to learn. So some of this is just for the campaign, some of it's just for the business, and some of it's global wins that you can take to the bank on any business that you run. And if you are just focused, laser focused on your business, you don't even care about global wins. You'll get them when they happen accidentally, but you're going to be more focused on business and campaign wins. We test scientifically and we verify everything. This is not an art, this is a science. There is a process to this. As we know from our little example before, I'm sure that about 90% of you probably got the split test guess wrong. I know I got it dramatically wrong. When I put that variant in, I did not think the stupid fucking cupcake was going to win, but it did. Really shocked me. We win or we learn. So whichever wins, it doesn't actually matter because we're just going to keep using the win. Like we win or we learn. We stack our wins. This is where the magic happens. And we make bank. That's what we're doing this for. So however you want to spend your money, well, you got to make it before you can spend it. So this is how we do it. So guys, I really hope that helped. I'm going to put out more videos with more specifics on some of the mechanics, but it's really important that you get the theory down. And honestly, this is the most important thing that I can give you. This doesn't just apply to Facebook ads. This applies to everything. How you do landing pages, how you test other traffic sources, absolutely anything. The golden loop methodology that I've put together, that you can make that work in any type of testing situation. So I hope that's helped, guys. Any questions, just comment and I will get back to you.